So you've just released the third single of your upcoming EP, Forget You. First of all, congratulations. With the three songs that are out there, how do you feel like this ties into what people are going to look forward to when their full EP's out?
Forget You is it's a fun track, the EP. It's definitely kind of the most mellow of the five, but I think it's a good look into how we've kind of used different sort of instruments and sounds and effects across the EP. But I think lyrically it's also um quite symbolic of also like all the themes of the EP. Like yeah, like growing up and being a kid and yeah, feeling different things for the first time. I think it's pretty good insight to the common themes of the EP.
Yeah. And I guess like with growing up and stuff, there's so much uncertainty that comes around that. And the EP title is called Maybe. So is that like the title, is that one of the things that you're trying to explore, like the uncertainty and like growing up, you just don't know like where things are gonna go?
Yeah, absolutely. It's yeah, a lot of uncertainty and feeling things for the first time and not knowing how to respond or act and it was also a word that um from like a relationship was quite yeah, a word that had been experienced a few times and it felt just like a good title for I think, you know, the EP and the things that were kind of felt and spoken about in all the songs.
Absolutely. And is there a song from the EP that surprised you the most during recording, or a song that maybe like took a life of its own as well?
Yeah, I think Forget You was a pretty surprising one that we kind of came in with that being quite a big song instrumentally and sonically and it was interesting. I think it was the last track we ended up recording. Um, and the way in which it changed and kind of the effects that we used and it became like yeah a little bit more mellow and had a slower kind of build. I think that was a really interesting track, the way that that kind of evolved and developed. And I think it's kind of that experience in the studio was probably uh, a favorite of ours from the EP.
Mm. With it going through a few changes too, like how do you know, especially being like the last song that you've recorded for the EP, how do you know when a song's ready and when that project was done?
um, that's a great question. I think we kind of knew going into that last song that we wanted something a little different from the rest of the EP. Um, I mean, also when you're starting out as a small band, like you have got your allotted days of recording and what you can kind of like afford to do. So we knew we had a bit of a time crunch. Um, but it was actually, I think, time pressure is something that we kind of thrive with. I think we know that we have to really lock in and get it done. So no, it was a great experience, and I think that time pressure is also something that we work pretty well with.
With the themes of uncertainty we mentioned, do you feel like you hope the EP, like people can find comfort or direction, or do you hope it's just like a way that people can just sit with that uncertainty and ride the wave?
I think I think both parts of what you mentioned. I think the hope with it obviously is that we don't dive too deep into specifics and go like too hard down the path of this was a one time experience. So I think we're hoping that it's relatable and something that a lot of young people feel. But yeah, I think I feel like the feelings of uncertainty and yeah, in adolescence, I think it's something that a lot of people can relate to, and I think that was a huge goal when writing this EP was having something that was an experience a lot of young people kind of connected to.
Yeah. And you guys have also, as a band, received some support from Triple J. So how, since reaching like bigger audiences, has your music, so has your approach to music changed, since yeah, reaching new people?
I don't think so. I think we're figuring out how to do things a little better. I think the more you kind of write and record, it still feels pretty early days for us. But um, I think all of us would agree that um, our sound hasn't really been affected at all um, by growing. But I think we're just getting a little bit better at writing and our instruments. I think we're learning how to kind of, I don't know, hone in our skills a little better.
And to celebrate the EP, people can see you live because you've got the upcoming tour, Big Sounds coming up as well. So, how are you preparing for this tour and shows?
We just started rehearsing yesterday, actually. It's our first time playing together in quite a while, and we realized that it's kind of the first time we've played some of these songs together as a band because we kind of did all our tracking for each song in January, and then we would go record our own separate parts, and it kind of evolved. But yeah, we figured out yesterday that it was kind of the first time we played a few songs through, all three of us, which was quite funny. But we're gearing up. We're playing lots of new music, and there'll be a song in the set that will be coming out in the next couple months post EP that we're pretty excited about. So we're not really slowing down. Um, but no, we're pretty excited. Hopefully, put on a good show. Yeah, and really keen to come to some new places.
Yeah, and I guess this is also your pitch to convince people to come to the show. So why should people come out and why should they see the show?
I think I think we create a good environment when we play. I think it's a nice, great space where people can feel comfortable. And we can kind of create an environment where people don't have to worry too much about what's going on. And I think we put on good we put on a good show. We put on good lineups. Something we've always been really good at is playing with other great bands. That's probably our best quality is getting good bands on the lineup. We always seem to manage to punch above our weight a bit, but no, we've been working super hard on our set and our music, so we're really excited to put on a good show.
Yeah, those good vibes are so important too. Like it's one thing to go out and listen to great music, but the vibes like make or break the show sometimes as well.
Totally, yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And you mentioned earlier that some of these songs during rehearsals, like you're playing it together as a band for the first time. Through that process, is any songs like, does it sometimes like change the meaning of songs, or do you find that, I don't know, it just brings it to life in a new way when you're performing it together again?
Yeah, I definitely do feel like we can adapt songs differently into a live setting. I think we noticed yesterday that we've gotten a little bit better. We've been practicing a bit more individually, and I think we came back and we were like, oh, nice. Like we haven't completely fallen off. So it's been good playing again, and I think yeah, we're enjoying adapting certain songs to maybe give them a bit of a kick, take it into another gear. So no, I think it's been really cool to be back practicing, and I'm sure we'll have a few more practices before the tour starts.
Yeah. And lastly, you mentioned that you're not slowing down, which is great. We love to hear that. So, what's next for you, like after the tour, or if people come and see you, how can they continue to support you? Like, is there merch you want to plug? Is there other things that you're doing later this year that you want to plug?
Yeah, we'll be bringing some great merch on tour, all to be revealed soon. But we're definitely not slowing down with putting music out. Um, that's definitely something that we'll be kind of continuing for the rest of the year. But um, no, we're hoping to do a couple more trips over later in the year, so keep an eye out for that. We've got some shows planned. We'll be playing at Rolling Sets at the end of the year as well, which would be awesome. Some great bands playing that, and I think we're looking at filling up the calendar. So we definitely won't be slowing down anytime soon.